Kevin McCarthy was narrowly but finally elected Speaker of the House late Friday night after an exhausting 15 rounds. Trouble was already brewing among Republicans even before the opening of the 118th U.S. Congress, and it was already apparent that the Republican House establishment may have an issue reining in the farthest right faction of their party, the House Freedom Caucus. McCarthy was missing 218 votes needed to be elected Speaker in the first round of voting, with 19 Republicans total voting against him. After the early deadlock, negotiations began with the party holdouts, and each new round of voting whittled down the number of McCarthy dissenters until it appeared that McCarthy would win with 216 votes in the 14th round, until far-right darlings Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert voted against McCarthy, despite previously agreeing to vote present, which would have allowed McCarthy to win. Gaetz was then angrily lunged at by Armed Services Chairman Mike Rogers for the move, but he was held back by Republican Richard Hudson. Gaetz and Boebert engaged in brief negotiations with McCarthy, although what they discussed is unclear. Finally, in the 15th round, both Gaetz and Boebert settled on voting present, allowing McCarthy to win with 216 votes and 6 present votes. Voting present allowed McCarthy to win because present votes are not counted towards the total number of votes, and a candidate only needs half the total number to win. To win the speakership, McCarthy, who in his role controls committee assignments, had to give away several of those assignments to Freedom Caucus members, and also agreed to a House rule that would allow any single Republican member to initiate a vote to remove him from his speakership, which makes the potential of another speakership fiasco perhaps likely. One major oddity of the election is the fact that Trump, who is aligned with many Freedom Caucus members, supported McCarthy, and even told holdout members via the phone of Marjorie Taylor Greene, a disavowed QAnon supporter, that they should vote for McCarthy. Even Trump himself received a single vote during 3 separate rounds, since technically anyone can be elected Speaker, although no non-House member ever has. Another historical moment of the 118th Congress is the Democratic leadership of Hakeem Jeffries, who is the first African American to lead a party in either House of Congress. Here's some fun facts about past speakership elections. The last time a speaker was not chosen in the first round was over 160 years ago, when Frederick Huntington Gillette was elected after only 9 rounds. The most rounds of voting ever was before the Civil War, when after 3 months and a whopping 133 rounds, Northern Democrat Nathaniel Prentice Banks was chosen to be Speaker. In other news, President Biden is now under heat because of a set of classified documents left over from the Obama administration when he was Vice President, found at a former office of his. The scope is very different from the classified document scandal at Trump's Mar-a-Lago, however, since there were only 10 documents and Biden's lawyers immediately contacted the National Archives when they found them. This fresh controversy may be used by Republicans in the House, however, to justify an impeachment of Biden, as a sort of retribution for the impeachment of Trump for his alleged threats to withdraw support to Ukraine, unless the Ukrainian president investigated Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. It should be noted, however, that this happened in 2020, well before the Russian invasion began.
Audio